Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Let's talk about the 5 big mistakes that veterans make when they are filing for their disability benefits. Now, before we jump into it, I want to throw on a special thank you to Crazy Car Grandpa. Thank you so much for your super comment. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me when you do that. So Crazy Car Grandpa, thank you so much. I really appreciate your super comment in the chat there. Thank you so much. All right, so let's jump into this. 5 mistakes veterans make most often when they're filing for their disability benefits. Now, this could end up in being a denial for benefits or a long delay. Heartache, nonetheless, no matter what sort of collateral damage happens from these mistakes, it's best to know what they are so you don't make them. Now, you might not be filing for anything today. There could be something in the future you do, so you want to know this type of stuff. And even if you don't, watching this video, hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, helps to kick it down the road to our brothers and sisters who need this type of information. If you want to support the channel in other ways, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all you members. I do my best to get back to you in the comments. All right, so 5 mistakes veterans most often make when filing disability benefits. Our military takes care of us, and when they are injured, sick, or unable to work, the VA can help take care of them. For successful benefits claims, here are some mistakes to avoid. Now, I found this on Kiplinger, and going to share it with you here today. All right, so since the PACT Act was signed into law in 2022, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has already received, over 1 million VA claims, with more entering the system all the time. It's important to understand how you approach the filing process for your disability benefits and to avoid any of these 5 mistakes. So let's go into number 1 here. The number 1 mistake, and I 100% agree that this is a huge mistake. Waiting too long to file. Now, I'm going to throw out a caveat. Waiting too long to file is horrific. File your intent to file and give yourself time to file your claim. Gives you a year time frame. You don't want to rush your filing because you will miss evidence, and that is so important. In fact, Clay and I, Clay over at the CivDiv and myself on the joint channel, Veterans Daily, just did a great video on this information. You should go over there and check it out. It's kind of in with some of the Supreme Court stuff that's going on with the benefit of the doubt rule and how to change that. So in any case, waiting too long to file is the number 1 listed here. And there's a little kind of paragraph underneath. Let's read what they say and see if we can add anything to it. When injured during service, a member's first impulse may be to try to file a claim as quickly, or no, that's not true. Let's see what it really did say. It disappeared on me. All right, there we are. So, when injured during service, a member's first impulse may be to try to power through it. There we go. So, may be to try to power through it, because that's what you've been told to do, right? Rub some dirt on it and move on. However, even if they are able to grit their teeth at first, the injury or exposure may worsen with age, which is especially true, especially if left untreated. According to a VA disability survey, the second largest group of veterans to file for benefits, 29%, submit claims 10 or more years after separating. But the VA approval process doesn't happen overnight. On average, it takes, and here at this time, it's at 127 days. I'd call it a good 6 months, kind of an average time frame to process a disability claim. And the timeline can quickly expand when complications and appeals are added to the equation. And how many claims you're filing, right? How many conditions you're filing for. Filing claims now ensures that veterans have ready access to all the services and benefits before their conditions become severe. So the idea here is that file your claim even if you're going to get a 0% condition rating or a 10%. As time moves on, that condition worsens, you'll end up filing for an increase, and you will already have all of your stuff with the VA, and it makes it a much easier process. Number 2 mistake, Having an incomplete diagnosis or treatment history. Evidence is key, and if you are not supplying all the evidence that the VA needs to rule in your favor, guess what? They're not. So let's move on. Here it says, although veterans themselves know their health history and conditions, if they haven't been diagnosed by a doctor, their medical records may be unclear or incomplete. In addition, if a veteran has seen a civilian doctor for treatment, the medical history that the VA needs to make an accurate disability rating assessment may be not quite up to par. So it says, however, when veterans know their options and have a VA accredited claims agent or a VA accredited representative guide them, this issue is typically resolved. Veterans can either upload their records through e-benefit system, actually it's through va.gov now, or rely on VA's duty to assist, whereby the VA tracks down missing or incomplete medical records from civilian providers. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of get the information yourself and then supply that to the VA. Don't let the VA just run around grabbing anything they want. It's probably a better way to go. Now, what do you need when it comes to your diagnosis and treatment history to have a successful claim? Well, look, the way I look at it is to have a successful claim for service connection, you need to have three things. Your time in service gives you a window of opportunity, entry date, exit date. Number two is a diagnosed condition. You can't just self-diagnose. Go get a diagnosis from a doctor, either in service or out of service. The third piece is a nexus, the link between your condition and your time in service, that window of opportunity. What you need to prove is that your condition either A, manifested during your time in service, or is a result of your time in service in some way. And you could do that with any sort of evidence that you could pull together, whether it's studies or, I was sniffing jet fumes for 10 years. I got out, I had horrible migraines, tie the jet fumes to migraines and see if there's any studies on that and so forth. So this really isn't a video on how to develop your claim, just the mistakes that are made, not taking the time or the effort to put it together. Let's move on to number three. Number three is failing to show a clear connection. Okay, clear connection. That is the nexus. Lacking a clear connection between the health condition and a service-related injury or exposure is a common problem. Absolutely, and it is probably the biggest reason for denial of service connection. You may submit a claim that just says, hey, I served from here to here, I'm diagnosed with this. Here you go. And you don't prove that it happened during your time in service, right? Maybe your diagnosis was 4 years after your time in service, and now you're missing that connection. You need to prove to the VA that that condition somehow was due to your time in service. So it says here, in order to receive adequate benefits, veterans must need a complete account of the circumstances around their injury or exposure. For instance, an individual with cancer who files an exposure claim must provide a clear explanation of what, where, how, and why that links the incident to their condition. And I will add in there, it's not just you saying it. You need to have some concrete evidence there and have a doctor utilize that as rationale in their nexus letter for you. Let's move on and see what they say here. It says that this link, the nexus is what they're talking about, is even more crucial after the PACT Act, which accepts more service-connected illness claims, such as respiratory illness, cancer, radiation-related illnesses for veterans who were exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. Being able to outline this connection is not only important for initial filing, but consistent, specific claims strengthen a veteran's case if they must appeal. Okay, yes, but when they're referencing the PACT Act, it's kind of funny because the PACT Act is really, when it's referenced with regard to filing a claim, usually what people are talking about is the fact that there's a presumptive list. The presumptive list actually eliminates the need to prove the nexus. You just need to prove I served in this location during this time period, and I have this condition. If your condition is on the presumptive list of conditions for that location and time period, you don't need to do anything else. All right, moving on. Number 4 mistake: neglecting to file for priority review for appeals. That's a good one. So the VA does offer what they call priority processing. Now they have it for the VA, your initial claim process, for a whole host of different reasons: age, financial circumstances, health conditions that may be terminal, and you need priority processing because you're in a very not good situation. But there's also priority review for appeals. Now, appeals take much longer than your standard VA claim because you pushed it over to the Board of Veterans Appeals, and there is another priority processing that can be requested there. And this is often forgot about. So let's read this one. The VA offers an expedited appeals review process for veterans in need to help them receive their earned benefits faster. Veterans who are over the age of 75 years old automatically have their appeals submitted for advanced on docket status. But veterans can request priority review if they suffer from a serious illness, are in financial distress, or have other sufficient cause for an expeditious appeal review. Moving their appeal to the front of the line is a simple process that can help veterans get their benefits quickly. Last one here is number 5. Mistake number 5: not claiming unemployability as a result of a disability. Huge, 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 huge. If you are a service-connected veteran, service-connected with the VA, and your service-connected condition is making it impossible for you to hold down and maintain steady employment, individual unemployability may be a fantastic option for you that's out there. So let's read what this one says and go from there. If a veteran's service-connected disability impairs their ability to work, they may qualify for individual unemployability, which makes them eligible for additional compensation and insurance on top of their VA disability benefits. However, our survey shows that almost half of veterans don't understand their disability benefits and therefore miss out on the resources they deserve. IU, which is individual unemployability. The full name is TDIU, which is total disability individual unemployability. The total refers to 100% rating. So IU recognizes that even without a 100% disability rating, veterans may suffer from chronic symptoms that severely impact their employability. Veterans can file this claim without affecting their standing VA disability benefits, and it may give them a more substantial support system than they would otherwise receive. By avoiding these mistakes, veterans can manage their health with their service to earn benefits. For active duty military members, a basic understanding of VA disability benefits now may help ensure that they are better equipped to navigate the process if they ever need to apply. I will say that on TDIU, if you were 60 or 70% rated and jumping up to a 100% rating is substantial, especially if you're living in certain parts of the country where it's more affordable, right, than let's say the Bay Area in California or New York City or Miami, Florida, right? If you're not in those places, a $4,000 a month tax-free might be all you really need to at least survive, right? There's a last little paragraph here. I'll read that and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thousands of service members receive VA benefits for service-connected health conditions. Looking to veterans who have gone through the process before knowledgeable VA-accredited claims agents for guidance. Okay, whatever. It's really nothing. Talking about work with an accredited representative, and that is the most important thing that you could do to help you through the process. I really appreciate each and every single one of you so much for watching. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.